What's up, YouTubers? Sorry it took me so long to make this video, but a lot of people ask me when I put out the videos for how to adjust a chainsaw on a carburetor, but that was more how to do it without any special spline tools and whatever. I put out those kind of videos and I briefly showed the carburetor thing, but everybody wanted to know how you adjust a carburetor from scratch. Like if you bought it new and put it on, or you've had it for a couple of years, just ain't running right. You're like, how do I properly adjust it? You know, period. So that's what I'm gonna do today. And then I'll make a weed eater one after, or a chainsaw one after this, but this is a weed eater. But first off, what you wanna do is make sure that your line, you have your cutoff for your line. Make sure you're at your distance. If you got the line really short, it'll change the load on the motor. So make sure the line's all the way out so you have the proper load when you're adjusting it that way. So, okay, now that we know the line is out properly so we can take the load right. If you have any limiter caps on these, black plastic caps that are on here, stick your screwdriver underneath and twist, pop them off. If they're going this way, then stick it in that way, pop them off. And just take them both off, they're on there, throw them away. Don't need them. They're just limiters to stop you from turning one way or the other. Factory crap. But anyway, take them off, throw them away. Then you want to take both the low and the high, turn them all the way in until they're just snug. Don't crank on them. Just get them all the way in until they're just good and snug. Then you'll come out about a turn and a quarter. There's a turn, about a quarter. Turn, quarter. Okay, then what we want to do is fire it up and hold it to the floor and high. And we want to adjust the high. Now I'll tell you if they're not marked, which this is low and L, so low and high. If they aren't marked, for instance, the high is always the farthest one away from the motor. There it is on the outside. Here's the motor, or the closest one to the air cleaner. If they're not marked, that's how you can tell they're marked. And before you do this procedure, you know, make sure you're well ventilated if you're doing it in a garage. If you're outside, you're fine. Wear safety glasses. And you can wear earmuffs to do this if you want. I don't, but if you're more comfortable doing that, go ahead and wear earmuffs. It won't hinder what you're doing. You'll still be able to hear what we're doing. So just make sure you do that first. But okay, we got them in and we got them cranked out a turn and a quarter each. Now we're going to floor it, get it started, and then we're going to go on the high and we're going to do this back and forth until we get the highest idle we can. Once you got that highest idle right there, then you're going to back it in. You're going to turn it in just till the motor starts to drop and stop. Then turn it back out very, very, very slow until you get that nice straight hum. So let's try this. Oop, if I turned it on, that would work, huh? Like that, it just started to drop. Come back till it's smooth. Then you just adjust the low till you get the highest idle you can. Keep turning the low in and out till you get the highest idle you can. think that's about the highest you can get right there. Then you want to start turning it in very, very slow until it just starts to drop. Just starts to drop, and stop. Now don't worry if it's still too high after you set the low. Got it to the sweet spot, and then turn it in very slow till it just starts to drop. That's going to leave a little bit on the lean side, but that's good. That's what we want. If you're still too high or too low, you do your idle right here. Put this wherever you want. I personally like to run mine a little high, but so that's it. That's how you adjust it from scratch. You know, and it can vary a little bit, but if you go to, like when you go to start it, after you do the all the way in and you do your out, turn it a quarter, and you got that high adjusted, and then you go to just start it without touching the trigger to adjust the low, and it don't want to start, turn the low in a little bit, try it again, turn in a little bit, try it again, till it starts. You know, so that might happen too. So it's a little bit variable, but that's how you post a factory set the weed eater carburetor. So, and don't freak out about if it don't work right. If it doesn't work on this procedure, I mean, you can play around with them both after that and do whatever you got to do to keep it running for then, I guess. But that means there's something wrong. So you can buy these new carburetors online. They're not very expensive. I always buy 2 or 3 of them. There's one right there in the box that says new. I buy those online, and I want to say they're like 13 to 16, 17 bucks or something. They're not very expensive, so don't freak out if you try this adjustment and go, well, that's bullshit, it don't work. So there's something wrong with the carb, you know. Buy a rebuild kit if you know how to do it, and if you don't, just get a new one, and then screw them in and do this adjustment from the start. It should work out just fine. So that's how you properly adjust a weed eater that you've had for a couple years and ain't running right, and you want to do it from scratch, or you put on a new one and you're doing it from scratch. I'm going to do one about a chainsaw now because somebody asked for that too. That's a different adjustment. You do start with the low, but I'll make that video too, so it's very specific. But that's how you adjust a weed eater from scratch. Bob's Lawn Service and Plowing. I'm out.